There are so many myths around skin, glass skin and Korean skin. Break down the fundamentals for me.
10 to 20% of the skin is made up of water. We've done a survey with like 1500 women. For 90% of them, it impacts their emotional and mental health, how their skin looks. As skincare brands, to be politically right, we've always been told not to talk about beauty while we sell products that are beauty related.
What, according to you, is the biggest skin challenge that people face today?
Hydration and photo damage.
Can you take us through some of these skin types and how people can identify with a particular skin type?
Skin type also changes, not just with age, not just with season, but also bases your period cycle. A lot of women you will see that say that they have period acne.
How can one prevent aging?
Retinol is a great ingredient. A few years back, it was only derma product. With time, government has allowed brands to use it. Processed food is equal to higher rate of aging. Don't just try to find that one ingredient that an influencer is talking about or a celebrity is endorsing or what is trending. People should start using antioxidants as early as they can in their life. Magnesium has a big role to play with the stress hormones and the regulation of that.
Let's talk about Indian skin, right?
SPF was popularized by the Western world because they get sunburn. They don't get tanned at all. Now we get tanned very easily.
Lots of treatments, right? Microneedling, the gentle filler that people insert. How effective do you recommend, do you not recommend?
With those 4 products we launched in Jan 2022, we were doing 5 lakhs. Today we are run rating more than 250 crore in 2.5 years time.
Wow.
I will build a 1,000 crore business in the next 3 years.
Are you tired of trying endless viral skincare hacks that never work? Dive deep into the world of skincare in today's episode with Romita Mazumdar, the visionary behind Foxtale. From unraveling the science behind healthy skin to breaking down popular ingredients and teaching you how to identify your skin type, this episode is a masterclass on skincare and skin health. Keep watching as we give you a blueprint of skincare that actually works for you. Welcome to the Humans of Bombay show, Romita. It's so nice to see you and your skin is glowing. Let me just start off by saying that. So it adds context to everybody watching that we're going to go very deep into the skin.
Yeah, it's all Foxtale.
Yeah.
But it really is. But no, I'm very excited to be here to share a platform with someone. I told you, I have fallen back to your stories that you've told of various people as I have gone on to my journey of adult life, not just Foxtale. And I'm so glad someone takes so much effort to find the right stories across the country and be able to talk about that. It's not easy. So thanks a lot for everything you do for everyone, and men, women, children alike. But thanks a lot for what you do.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. So I'm going to get straight into it. Let's discuss skin, right?
Yes.
Largest organ of our body. Yeah. And there are so many myths around skin. People do anything for, glass skin and Korean skin. There's like so many names attributed to it, right? Break down the fundamentals for me.
Okay, so let's understand the skin, right? We all probably know that it is the largest organ in the body. What we don't, some basic facts, right? It's 3 to 5 kgs of body weight. So it's very light in its texture, which also goes on to talk about the delicate nature of organ itself. But the role it plays is insane. 10 to 20% of the skin is made up of water. And that level of water is very, very critical to maintain and regulate the temperature of our entire body system. So largely, if you have to understand skin, it's 3 parts. It's epidermis, which is our top layer. That's made of dead cells, but that's the layer that plays the most important role in protection. Protection from UV light, protection from letting anything that is a foreign particle penetrate into your body. Dermis is the layer which is made of fats, lipids, collagen. Now it's become very, very popular. But the role it plays, it houses your blood vessels and your nerve fibers. So all your sensations, all your regulation of temperature, of how much heat your body should be producing and not producing, all of that happens at your middle layer of the skin, which is the dermis that happens. And right below that, it's the last layer of your skin. And that's the final layer of cushioning that happens from the outside world to the inside world. But it's the first 2 layers that when it comes to skincare, we play around with the first 2 layers because the first layer is the house of hydration, I call it. The second layer is the house where everything gets activated. So whether when you're talking about brightening or acne, a lot of work that skincare brands do start impacting the second layer, or products have to go to that second layer. As skincare brands, we often get to be politically right. We've always been told not to talk about beauty while we talk about, while we sell products that are beauty related. Skin has a very important role. In fact, once we've done a survey with like some 1,500 women, skin impacts 90%. For 90% of them, it impacts their emotional and mental health, how their skin looks, how it doesn't. Because the third layer is where the tone and the texture of the skin gets determined. There are a lot of biological roles that a skin plays, but there's a lot of psychological role also that the skin plays into our day-to-day life. And at least that's how we understand it, and that's how we treat skin when we treat it internally. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. So let's talk about how our skin reacts to external factors, right? Now, let's take UV rays, for example, pollution, for example, even products for that matter. How does our skin react to these external factors, and does it play a role in protecting itself?
24-hour battle that the skin is fighting with all the foreign particles that is coming and entering. So I'll first take UV rays. UV rays is largely two kinds, UVA and UVB. A lot of and how do you see it when it comes to product? SPF, the quantum of SPF is a protection against UVB, and PA++, the plus signs that you see in sunscreen, is a quantum of protection against UVA. So the Indian skin, and generally UVB cause skin burns, UVA cause tanning. So they are two different problem statements by itself, and they are different ways that they impact your skin. And and what it impacts is the top layer of your skin the most, whether it's skin burning, whether it's and when it burns the skin, or whether it's tanning. The main role the skin plays is the melanins, and the size of the melanin have a huge impact on how your skin ends up reacting and to which UV ray it ends up reacting. If your melanin spheres are larger in general, then UVA impacts you more than UVB, which is where Indian skin and more browner, more wheatish skin, we all are more impacted by UVA because our melanin structures are higher. But when you are exposed to sunlight over a very, very long period of time, it does cause photo damage because it starts aging your melanin. Aging is a way to say it starts degenerating it at a much faster rate, causing photo damage, or you will see it in the form of pigmentation, you will see it in the form of scarring. So sunburns are real, but it's not as specific to Indian skin as it is to Caucasian skin or lighter skin tones in general. At the same time, like I said, the second layer has lipids, has collagen, they have skin fiber proteins as we call it. They are very, very critical to hold the elasticity of the skin. However, with pollution, what happens is they start degenerating much faster. And when they degenerate faster is what we call aging and the process of aging. So skin fights a very long battle for us throughout our life from the moment we are born. But we have to be cognizant of the fact that there's a lifespan to it, and hence it is very critical that we solve for it at the right time, whether it is the hydration on the top layer or whether it is protecting our second layer from pollution. You cannot protect on your day-to-day life, but what do you do? And that's where how you use products, how you end up solving for it, what you eat, how you cleanse yourself, all of those things come into play.
Right. So what according to you is the biggest skin challenge that people face today?
I think hydration and photo damage. I think it's very basic. Today we've gone on to try and find ingredients that are solving, much more specific, much more niche problems. If we keep ourselves, very basic, hydration, it's 10 to 20% is water. So we have to make sure that the skin has enough moisture holding capacity, because the skin has the ability to absorb it from the air and be able to retain it. We just have to make sure the microstructures are in the right place. And second, because lipids are very critical, the second layer lifespan is critical. It's critical that we protect it from any kind of photo damage or any kind of degenerative process that it goes through. So I always say hydration, photo damage, but one thing that people don't talk enough about is antioxidants. Making sure that you apply enough antioxidants, have enough antioxidants in your day-to-day life gives skin a very, very long life and a very healthy life in general. So generally, I think if you think that I have to protect my skin from hydration and photo damage, and if you solve around that, 90-95% of most of the problem gets solved.
Okay, so we'll go deep into what that entails, but let's start with a more overarching. What do you think is a basic routine that a skincare routine that people could follow generically. We'll go to specific skin types in just a minute. But what is a basic routine that you think everybody should have for skincare?
I would say cleanse. Do clean your face in the morning and evening. Second, moisturize, no matter what skin type. And of course, we can always go deeper into oily skin and dry skin, but every skin type needs hydration, because irrespective of how you feel the skin is water. So it needs hydration. And third is, sun protection. So a very simple routine, no matter who you are, where you are, just if you follow these 3 steps and cleanse, moisturize, protect. I think beyond that, and if you do it consistently, beyond that, there's not a lot of changes that has to be done if you're doing this bit at the right time in your life.
Right. So let's talk about skin types, right? And most people don't identify their skin type properly. For example, I'm also still sometimes like in 2 minds, like which one do I fit, right? Because there's so many. There's dry skin, oily skin, there's combination skin. So can you take us through some of these skin types and how people can identify with a particular skin type?
One thing, Karishma, I'll tell that, and like you said, right, like you also struggle because our skin, we have to be cognizant of the fact that our skin type also changes, not just with age, not just with season, but also during the time of the month that you are in basis your period cycle. So a lot of people, a lot of women you will see that say that they have period acne, but that's the hormonal structure of the body that does create certain oily zones and dry zones on your skin. So we have to be okay with our skin changing a lot more rampantly than what we today acknowledge it to have. One is that, but generally there are 2 very easy ways to figure out. Wash your face with any gentle cleanser, then don't do anything. Don't apply moisturizer, toners for an hour. Pat it dry with a towel. Wait for an hour. After an hour, if your skin feels very stretchy and flaky, if flaky in some parts, but if it feels stretchy, then your skin is on the drier side. If you feel like there is still a certain sense of oiliness, whether it's on the T-zone or whether it is on the any part of your face, then it's on the oily side. In terms of combination skin, you will see that you will feel oily in some parts and more stretchy skin in other parts. And in terms of normal skin, you will just feel fine. You will feel like there's no need for a moisturizer, but also there's no need to go and wash my face again. The other more for people who need more proof and want to be a lot more certain, there are blotting papers that are available. So after you wash your face, just apply it. Again, the same thing. If it's dry, oil will not come out. If it's oily, you will see oil on the paper. If it's combination, it's right in between. In some places you will see oil, in some places you will not see oil. Sensitive is something that we all think and really believe we have, but I think largely sensitive is if your skin becomes red very quickly. And I don't mean when you're waxing, because waxing is hurtful. We all get red when we all wax our skin. But generally when you're using a new product, or if you're out in the sun and if your skin tends to turn red, these are signs that your skin is sensitive to even BAU environmental stressors, not just something like a wax or something extremely hot. So that's the way to know what your skin type is. Having said that, it changes a lot. So you have to be very mindful of what your skin is feeling like today, and you have to let that skin feel the way it is on that day.
And how does one's routine change basis the skin type?
So I think largely because the tendency of whether your skin is dry, oily or normal, wo mota you will get to know. You will have a sense of where your skin ends up lying. Basis that, a cleanser and a moisturizer should be always something that should be your, consistent companions for life. I'll tell you for mine is on the drier side, but it's not that my skin is very flaky, and it's not like you just saw, right? They will come in. I do have oily T-zone, etc. So for me, what I keep similar is my face wash. My face wash is a gentle face wash whose role is to clean my face, remove sebums, remove dirt, remove pollutants. And that's what I use our daily do it cleanser, and I very thoroughly believe that it is the best product in the world. And I say it very publicly because I genuinely believe. But anything, a cleanser that is gentle enough to clean any kinds of external pollutants or sebums that may have been formed. Second is a moisturizer that works for you. I am on the drier side, so I like moisturizers that last longer. So something like a ceramide moisturizer. But if someone has very oily skin, even a gel-based moisturizer that they feel comfortable wearing during the day, I think that should stay the same. Beyond that, depending on how your skin is feeling, I think you can layer it up or layer it down. If you are someone who during dry weathers in winter, do you feel, then you change your gel moisturizer to, you know, a little more heavier moisturizer, or you move from one application to 2 applications a day. But it's really coming down to us, you know what your stomach feels like, right? Or your heart feels like. Today you feel like a chai, tomorrow you might feel like a coffee. Give yourself space to be able to do that. But more or less, you know whether you're a chai person or a coffee person. So I think more or less you know what your skin's companions for life are. You play around with the layers that you add on top, but your basics stay relatively the same.
Right.
Yeah.
And you spoke about like anti-aging, right?
Yeah.
And oxidants,
Yeah.
something like most people are concerned about.
Yeah.
So how can one include more oxidants, like you were, antioxidants, like
Yeah.
you were saying,
Yeah.
and prevent aging, so to speak, which it has to do with the second layer, basis what you said.
I think, as brands and the person who's our head of R&D, Dr. Ramesh and I, when I started learning skincare, I was like, we should have a product that just gives antioxidants, right? And so I was like, yeah, absolutely we should. But how do you sell it? Because as a business, you have to sell things that people demand. So one of the things that we decided to do, and which has been a very, foundational thing for us, each of our products have antioxidants. So no matter whether you're buying a serum for brightening, or you're buying a serum for anti-aging, or you're buying a product for sun protection, antioxidants is foundationally a must-have in all our products. And a hydration, which is each of our products. In fact, most of our serums are cream-based, which is something that people keep asking, why did you not make water-based? Because I'm like, in India, everyone's not going to do a cleanser and a moisturizer and a serum. In India की भी बात नहीं है, time की बात है. Even I can't layer my skin so much most of the time. I'm just up, taken a bath and rushed out. So I need a serum that can also act as a moisturizer. So we call it serumizer because it is a serum plus a moisturizer. But while I can tell you about what we do as a brand, but largely to users, look for products that have antioxidants. Don't just try to find that one ingredient that an influencer is talking about, or a celebrity is endorsing, or what is trending. I'm not saying the products and ingredients are not good. Just find ingredients that are combined with antioxidants, because ingredients have a treatment-led approach. Antioxidants are preventive. They're going to have a role to play in a very long run in your life. And there are hardly any products that will separately give you antioxidants, and there's no point spending extra. There are a lot of products, especially globally. With India, I can tell you about Foxtale, where antioxidants form a very key part of the formulation process, and products deliver them beautifully to your skin. So yes, like you said, for anti-aging, antioxidants are a must, and the reason being that they help reduce free radical movement on the skin, and hence doesn't let your skin cells degenerate at a rate that it usually ends up doing. People should start using antioxidants as early as they can in their life, whether it is in their 20s when they move from a face wash to a moisturizer, and as they start adopting serums. But if you're specifically working on anti-aging as a problem statement, then retinol. In fact, a few years back, it was only a derma product. With time, government has allowed brands to use it, but you have to be very careful about it, because it can cause very high sensitivity. When you apply it on the skin, because there are so many free radicals that happen, it actually ends up getting triggered, and because of it, it causes a lot of purging on your skin. In fact, I have met women who have used retinol of other brands, felt like their skin has burnt or their skin has reacted to it. And when we wanted to launch a retinol serum, our R&D team said absolutely not, because you were not allowed to sell it a few years back. It is not an OTC product. It was a very pharma-led product, and consumers wouldn't know when to use it, how to use it. And after a lot of months, we came to a manufacturer and we met him, who basically makes in an encapsulated format, lets it penetrate into your skin into the second and third level, and then it releases into your skin, because of which it gets released in its purest form. And when it gets released in its purest form, there is no purging, there is no sensitivity, but there is also 2 to 3x more efficacy when it comes to the product. Peptides is a great ingredient for anti-aging. But again, I would say don't look at peptide. Peptide is a very wholesome ingredient. So if you are someone who is patient enough, I think there are great formulations with peptides, and it is actually something where you can use it with other things. So use a formulation that has antioxidants and peptides and retinol. So our retinol, we actually combine all three, and it's one of my most loved product. In fact, the retention on it is 70%.
Wow, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you. It's
Yeah.
actually great.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people who used to, without naming the brands, used to use very expensive retinol products globally,
Yeah.
and in friends and family. And once I've sent it, the texture, I remember it's one of my bhabhi I met. I'm like, your texture is like outstanding, because when she used to apply makeup, the makeup used to start piling because of the texture of the skin and everything. I'm like, but suddenly I'm like, have you changed your makeup? Have you done? She's like, you know what? I've just been using your retinol for 3 months and my texture is completely even, and my skin tone has become a lot more even, and it's become a lot more stretched. So she didn't have wrinkles as a problem, but skin texture, open pores was something, and because of which when she applied makeup, it became even more obvious. So I was like, okay, this is like great PMF, and we've heard similar feedback a lot, and it's in numbers. 100 people buy the product, 70 come back within the next 3 months to buy the product.
That's amazing.
Again. So
yeah, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, no, I'm going to send it to you. It's actually a great product.
Yeah. Okay, so we have peptides, we have retinol, and we have antioxidants. These are three key ingredients for anti-aging.
Yeah.
What about food and diet and nutrition? Is there a way that certain foods that you eat actually lead to better skin or slow down the process of aging?
Absolutely does. But food, see, I'll actually differentiate. Like when you fall sick, a lot of the immunity, right? Why do we take vitamin D supplements today, or even other vitamin supplements? Because when you make something bioavailable to the body, when you take supplements, you basically almost directly release it into the bloodstream. It's called bioavailability. You take a tablet, once it's inside your body, it gets released in a fashion that scientifically the term uses bioavailable. So it's a lot quicker. But do food groups not have vitamin D and other minerals and magnesium? Of course they do. So what is extremely important that we are mindful of, that food plays a very important role, but don't expect it to have an overnight change. Topical application, injections, of course, amplify the speed with which these things can have an impact. But food actually, Karishma, plays, I think, the most important role. Processed foods have a very, very negative impact in the rate at which your cells die on the skin, on your body, the rate at which lipids get depleted on your food, on your body. And of course, there are more the processed foods releases a lot of bad cholesterol. But it is something that actually, if I have to just look at input and output, processed food is equal to higher rate of aging that your body ends up going through. Not only your skin, but even the rest of your organs. In fact, visceral fat is something that gets developed a lot quicker, which slows down the rest of your organs a lot quicker. I am not the right person to say this today about food, because as the last 3 years of building this company has meant that I have rewarded myself with food every time I'm home at 12. So I'm not at the healthiest of my life and trying to get there. But having said that, fruits play a very important role, right? Food groups in the form of proteins play a very important role. A lot of the elasticity and lipids are made of protein fibers in your skin, and that also is has a big correlation. In fact, there are a lot of studies done where protein-rich diets lead to slower aging of the skin and the visual appearance of the skin with time, etc. So food is I think food is so critical, not just in skin, in everything else that we have to see in life, especially after we hit 30. So now my mother says, now this year you've turned 30, now you will know how important food is. But even when we do research, when we do control group experiments, women with better, more balanced diets see much more amplified effects of efficacy of the same product than women with more diets which has more processed food. So even the same product can impact you differently
basis the food that you eat.
The food that you eat.
Okay, so what are your top 5 foods that you would say?
From a skin perspective.
From a skin perspective.
So fruits that are rich in vitamins, I think it's absolutely essential. Vitamins are skin's best friend. Don't ignore them. A, B, C, D, E. Talk about it, and your skin needs it. And now we are spending a lot of money to do research to get it back to your skin. So just have it. It's easier. Second is proteins. Proteins play a very critical role in the way the structures of the skin are made and the rest of the body. Third is healthy fats. A lot of times we talk about the shine of the skin. In fact, when I was younger, I'm Bengali, half Punjabi, but the Bengali side of my family used to say that, half fish, your skin is going to be great. But it's not totally true, but it's not totally untrue as well. The skin of the fish has very good omegas and very good fatty acids. So good fats have a very critical role in terms of the shine and the, I think luster is the right word, of the skin that you end up having. So these three, I think, are extremely critical to how your skin ends up feeling. But also a lot of, when skin... what we don't realize, our skin has 1 million nerve fibers, and that's a lot of nerve fibers, highest nerve fibers that any organ is exposed to, highest number of nerve fibers. So what is also and there are a lot of cells will naturally die, and then they have to regenerate and get produced again. For that, you need also very good metabolism, and metabolism, as much as we correlate it with high protein, it's also energy. So the right carbs are very, very critical. So I know everyone is in a different form of diet, but energy is critical, and energy does come from the right form of carbohydrates. So vegetables play a very, very critical role. Last, I don't know which food groups have it, but magnesium is if vitamins are your best friend, magnesium is almost like your sister, because magnesium has a big role to play with the stress that your body, the stress hormones and the regulation of that. So foods that are rich in magnesium, I think meats are. So again, back to protein, but generally they...
what do vegetarians do?
I don't know much about tofu. I have not really read the food group, but I'm sure there are good...
the tofu, there's edamame, there's paneer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Indian skin, right?
Yes.
We're exposed constantly to a lot of sun. Are there any extra preventive measures for people, basis also their location and ethnicity? Because different skin in different parts of the world reacts differently.
Yeah.
So what is the general playbook if you're in an extreme tropical place like India?
I think, life has to go on, like no matter whether we are close to the equator or close to, like you said, like we are in a very tropical country. But what ends up happening is sunscreen are huge weapons. They are very cost-effective weapons, and I actually think you have to change nothing about your day-to-day life. It's not like don't go out on the sun or cover yourself up, but apply sunscreen when you go out, and depending of the quantum of exposure that you have, understand your reapplication. There is no rule that reapply it for after every 3 hours, 5 hours. It depends on where you are. So use sweat resistant sunscreens. Use sunscreen that are very high on PA+++. Look at the plus sign. Anything above SPF 30 and 50 in India is fine. We generally don't get sunburned. So don't try to solve. I have products that are SPF 70 and SPF 50, which are great, which means that it will protect you from sunburn. But I keep telling my user, buy me because we are 4+. Don't buy me because we are SPF 70, because that's what your real concern will be.
So what is the plus sign?
Plus is the measurement of the protection that the sunscreen will give you against UVA. And UVA causes tanning. UVB causes sunburn.
So if it's plus.
So 4 pluses is the maximum that you can be. That means that this will give you max protection against tanning, almost 100% protection against tanning.
So that's SPF 50 plus.
PA+++.
Oh, PA+++. Okay. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You usually tend to look at SPF, right? So I usually look at the SPF 50 and purchase it.
Yeah. So SPF is a measurement of protection against UVB. UVB reduces or kills the melanin cell structure, but melanins, if they are very, very small. As Indians, we are very blessed with relatively bigger melanin cell structures, because of which we have the skin color and tone that we have. But that also means that we don't get sunburned as easily. Caucasian skin, they get sunburned very easily. So it's actually a very Western thing. SPF was popularized by the Western world because they get sunburned. They don't get tanned at all. They have to really struggle to get tanned. Now we get tanned very easily. So as Indian skin, we have to, and we should look at PA plus sign. And the products that have those 4 pluses are the products that are most relevant for the Indian skin type. So I always say, I'm okay if you're using SPF 50 till you're using PA++++.
And where does that usually feature on the packaging?
Right on the, if products, so a lot of products, because they are more marketing first, and the user only looks for SPF, they only talk about SPF, and they don't even do testing of PA+++. But if they have done, it will be right there, right below SPF. So it will be SPF XX PA+, and the number of plus signs.
I think everybody's going to go check their sunscreen tube.
No,
I know I'm going to go check it.
Yeah,
because I can't remember seeing it. I remember seeing SPF, and that's been my yardstick.
So
but
it's a different testing. So you can't, it's not the same testing that leads to SPF measurement and PA testing.
Right. And okay, that's such a key, that's a really important thing to know about sunscreen.
Yeah. After that, one thing that is very, very critical, when you're back, clean your face, because when UVA, UVB rays fall onto your skin, so it's not only what penetrates, but it also leads to a lot of free radical movement into your skin. And something like that leads to, again, the same thing, your cells dying a lot quicker, because your cells are fighting back much harder. So there are a lot of dead cell formation that ends up happening on your skin. So do clean your face every evening, the moment you are back home. I think that's the ancestral rule that was told to us, and there's nothing that has changed. Clean your face with whatever you have, a gentle face wash. Exfoliate your face twice or thrice a week. So I always say that, for oily skin, use something like a clay mask that you can use twice or thrice a week. It's gentle on your skin, but it also exfoliates it. If you are a dry skin, be okay using a glycolic acid, but exfoliation can work wonders on your skin, and not required to go to any facial for years to come. So yeah, I think these are 3 rules that for sun protection are absolutely necessary.
Okay. Lots of treatments, right? Microneedling. There's a gentle filler that people insert. It's not Botox, but it's definitely into a layer of your skin. You have those blemishes. How effective do you recommend, do you not recommend?
See, I honestly will tell you, I don't know enough about it from a medical perspective to be able to have a view on it. I do know enough that, that skincare products, and I'm sure a lot of dermats will also tell you, before any physical intervention into your skin, there are a lot of OTC products. If you use the right ingredients, right formulations, and if you eat the right food, there's a lot that you can do on your skin without physical intervention, like injections, like microneedling. Having said that, I'm not someone who's stereotyped against it at all. I get very intrigued, and once in a while I think I'll do it, but because I genuinely have a great skincare. I've great skincare products at my disposition through Foxtale, and I know the quality of what we've given. So and so far I think my skin's
it looks great. You don't need the makeup.
And I don't do much, right? I just use our cleanser, I just use our sunscreen, and I use our hyperpigmentation serum. I actually don't do much. And if it gets dry, then I use the ceramide moisturizer in the night. And people don't believe me. They're like, you have 18 SKUs, you will be using all. I'm like, no, most of the days I wash my face, get out of the bathroom, put a sunscreen, because again, we put hydration, so it's very moisturizing. It's non-sticky applied, and I'm out of the house, because most of the time I have someone or the other from my team calling me, okay, you're running late for this, you're running late for this. So I'm constantly in a hurry. So I don't apply a lot, and people, but back to microneedling on all, I'm not someone who's an expert when it comes at a medical level to be able to give an advice. I don't have any stereotypes against it, but I'm sure, and I know this as a matter of fact, that a lot can be done through topical application and right supplements that you have between vitamins, magnesium. Now, whether you take it through supplements or you take it through food is on you.
Okay, let's talk about Foxtale. How did you decide to start Foxtale? And the products sound amazing, and I'm definitely going to check it out. But you saw a gap in the market, obviously, and then you set out to create this product. You've already spoken to us about a few of these key products through the interview. What is your vision now? And talk to us a little bit about how you've grown.
So I started this company now almost 3.5 years back. While the company has been operational for 2.5 years, we've been in R&D for much longer before we ended up launching. How it started will also tell you kind of where we are headed. I studied in the US for 6 years for my undergrad, and then I was working there for a couple of years. When I came back to India, this was my first time in Bombay. I would go to Palladium and buy all these expensive brands, and I would not use even half of it, and then the dabbas would keep lying. There are a lot of D2C brands back in 2018, so I would keep ordering it online, again not use them. So as a user, I had reached a point, and skin is something I felt very deeply about. I joke about it, but it's not a joke. I always say I don't know whether mere bathroom mein harpic rakha hai ya surf, but I know what goes on my skin. So I was a power user of skin, and it mattered to me how my skin looked. I'm not big on makeup as well. So skin was my safe space. Skin was my right to feel a certain way about myself. So it's something that held a lot of emotional meaning to me, and I really was struggling with finding the right product. That was one side. Parallelly, because I was in a VC, and we used to do consumer investing, I used to meet a lot of these skincare brands, and I'll tell you what was very and maybe to another venture capitalist it doesn't matter because most of them are men. As a woman who cares about her, especially someone who cares about her skin, I used to meet them. They used to, our turnaround time is 1 month. We launch a product. We know what's trending. Coffee is trending. Aloe vera is trending. We can make a product and launch it, and then we scale it on Amazon and all the marketplaces. And I used to be like, then that's a marketing house. That's not products, right? And what did that mean to their P&L? That they all would grow very fast, but none of them would make money because there was no repeat in the business. They would constantly launch an SKU. It's like fashion.
Yeah.
This product is trending this year. Next product is trending the year
There was no
after.
ARR.
There's no AR. There's no like LTV.
Correct.
There's no LTV in the customer at all. So to me, that became that resonance between my view on a business. I'm very critical as a investor and now as a business person that a business needs to have LTV. Otherwise, it's a treadmill. You're constantly acquiring users. So the value of a business is in its customer and their loyalty. And second, as a user, that okay, this is the reason I can't find products because no one's building for India. People are building for trends, and they're not building for the Indian skin and not the Indian women. So that's the gap that I figured. But I am a businesswoman. I don't shy away from the fact that I wanted to build a business that can scale and build profits, right? But the beauty of this market was that the only way to make money is if you're honest to your customers and the products that you end up building. So that's when we went into the process of meeting a lot of women, met some 937 women across India, understood what they need, and efficacy was the big call out. We all use skincare products because there's some problem that we face with our skin and we want that problem to be solved. And that's when we started our R&D. Our first R&D lab was in Chennai. It's still in Chennai. We put together a team of 4 scientists headed by Dr. Ramesh, who's the guy who's been part of Fair and Lovely and Himalaya Neem Face Wash's journey and very pivotal part in both of those journeys. And we started working on our first 4 products where there's only one mantra from a user perspective, give her products that really work. From a R&D perspective, give products that work but foundationally are intense when it comes to hydration and extremely good when it comes to solving for photo damage. So you might be buying a cleanser just because you want to clean your face, but it should be hydrating enough for your skin to not feel stretchy. It should remove all the kinds of pollutants and irritants that cause photo damage in the long run. Similarly for moisturizers, similarly for sunscreen and our serum. So that was the intent. To the user, it's standout efficacy. From an R&D perspective, it's efficacy plus each product stands for hydration and solving for long run photo damage, which is aging, glow, and the right texture and feel of your skin when you end up using the product. And that's how our first 4 products came into being. It took us a lot of time, 1.5 years to build them. Now from where we are and where we are headed, with those 4 products, we launched in Jan 2022. We were doing 5 lakhs. Today we are run rating more than 250 crore in 2.5 years time.
Wow.
And where we are headed, I always say, I not only always say, yesterday also I told her, I will build 1,000 crore business in the next 3 years.
That's amazing.
And to us, that's the vision on the business side. In terms of consumers, I just want to become, and it matters to me a lot because consumers write to us. If it doesn't get delivered on time, they will write to us with a lot of grief. But a lot of times, and I can't tell you, probably in a day I get on an average 3 to 5 mails or DMs, just sharing stories about how the product, changed something in their life. It can be something as small as, my skin is glowing and my husband has been telling me my skin is glowing, or something as I've really struggled with acne all my life and now it's great. So it's so gratifying to get to be a part of those stories and to feel like you impacted it. It's a 500 rupees product, but sometimes it becomes such a it warms your heart that you can be a part of their lives in a positive way. So there's a dream and there's a vision. The dream is to be in every Indian woman's bag and be a part of her story in a positive way. The vision is to, in that honesty, be able to build 1,000 crore brand with 20% EBITDA. I always say, let's not just talk about the revenue, let's actually make money with that revenue. Yeah.
That's fantastic and a great goal. And I think that, once you have a product, an insanely great product, a lot of this follows, right? And more often than not, the focus is on the marketing. It isn't on the actual product of it. So I think that if the numbers are at 250 crores, you have a great product on your hands. And I'm excited to get my hands on it.
I hope we have. I think we have the product for you, but you should try it. Share your feedback.
100%. 100%. Okay, let's talk to you a little bit more about ingredients in skincare, and then we'll take Ask the Expert section with you of some of the most common myths that surround skincare that you could probably bust for people. Let's discuss which ingredients are suitable for specific skin types, right?
Yes.
I'll mention the skin type. You can just tell me which is the ingredient.
Okay.
So oily skin.
Salicylic acid, and because it reduces oil sebum production, which keeps your face quite, which reduces chances of acne and the oiliness in the long run. Niacinamide, it really gives you, it's like dewy glow, no matter which skin tone, skin texture, skin type, we all want it. And I think niacinamide does an outstanding job of delivering it to people with oily skin. So I would say salicylic acid face wash, something that's sulfate free, and I would top it up either with a niacinamide serum or a moisturizer.
Okay, fantastic. Dry skin.
Dry skin, I would say ceramides. Oh, please use ceramides. So I would use a gentle face wash. I would not be very picky in terms of ingredients when it comes to the face wash. For the moisturizer, please use a ceramide moisturizer. And I would also top it off with vitamin C for the dewy glow. But also vitamin C is a great if the right formulation can deliver great antioxidants as well. But ceramide is your...
Sensitive skin?
Sensitive skin, I would use anti-inflammatory ingredients like D-panthenol, I always mispronounce it, but it's called altinoin, and bisabal oil. So these are all, it's not an oil, it's an active ingredient itself, but anti-inflammatory ingredients, because sensitive skin deal with a lot of, they don't realize inflammation as well as redness. So anything that is anti-inflammatory in nature.
Okay. Combination skin?
Mm-hmm. Combination skin, I would say do a combination of hydrating, because don't use anything that can dry your skin up a lot, because not all parts of your skin are very oily. So I wouldn't necessarily go with the salicylic acid, but I would go for something like a combination of niacinamide, vitamin C in moisturizers and serums still work great, but use formulations that are hydrating, don't take away from your skin a lot. But in terms of anything else, I think again, combination and a lower percentage of AHA, BHAs work great. So a combination of glycolic acid, lactic acid, salicylic acid, but keep the salicylic on the lower percentage side for combination skin. I think they should work well.
Okay. Acne prone skin?
Acne prone skin, again, will go back to both things. I think use sulfate free. I think before an ingredient, use sulfate free cleansers, critical for acne prone skin. Because it's acne prone and not necessarily you will have acne, you should have a combination of, I would use something like a salicylic acid, but I can also use it in the form of a serum and not necessarily put it as a cleanser. For a lot of acne prone skin have a lot of acne marks, I would use a tranexamic acid. I can't tell you how beautiful that ingredient is, especially to reduce acne scars or any kind of pigmentation, dry skin, the photo damage pigmentation or acne scars. So I would add a tranexamic acid, because acne prone skin not only deal with acne but also acne scars after the acne goes away. So tranexamic acid is a great ingredient. Very recently it's been picking up. I saw globally, so I'm sure in India people will pick it up in the next 7 months. We have a hyperpigmentation serum that has it, and it's a beautiful bottle. It's a beautiful product, and I'm using that right now. And every time I use it, it just creates such a even texture. But it has a lot of long-term efficacy. But not just us, tranexamic acid by itself is a great ingredient. So if you can find it in any brand of your choice, to use it if you have acne-prone skin. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll debunk some skincare myths.
Yeah.
Okay. The more you wash your face, the fewer breakouts you'll have.
No.
You don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day.
No. In fact, even on cloudy days, 80% of UVA and B still penetrate and reach the ground level.
Okay. You can shrink your pores.
No.
Okay. You don't need to moisturize if you have oily skin.
Oh, no. Absolutely moisturize. I think it's even more critical to do it. Yeah.
Toothpaste is a good acne treatment.
No.
Not toothpaste. Okay.
No toothpaste.
Okay. Our next section is Ask the Expert.
Yes.
So we'll ask you some questions that people may have, and you can answer them.
Nice.
I work night shifts, so dark circles are inevitable.
Yes.
How can I reduce them?
So I would say that even if you work night shift, no matter when you sleep, do get those 8 hours of sleep. Don't undervalue the need for your body to sleep for those 8 hours. Second, use a eye cream that has vitamin C, caffeine, hyaluronic acid, extremely hydrating nature, has brightening properties that come through vitamin C, and can also give a very mild sense of exfoliation if there are any dead cells, etc. around your skin. But because it's close to your skin, you have to be use products that are good for sensitive skin as well. So vitamin C and hyaluronic usually are a great combination along with caffeine. Have a lot of water through the day. So I think again, a lot of dark circles is not because you've not slept in the night. If you are able to catch up on the sleep, a lot of dark circles is because of dehydration as well. So do drink a lot of water whenever you can. So I would say these three things, and otherwise I think more, unless it's hormonal. Also dark circles, a lot of dark circles are genetic, which has a different thing. It's because of the way your skull is structured. So because of that, your eyes dip a little more. So in that case, a product will not work no matter what, nor will fillers work in that case, because it lets you pull the skin a little on the stretchier side, making the dark circles a little less prominent. But generally, if it's dark circles just related to tiredness, or you were not someone who had dark circles as a child and have started having it as an adult life, vitamin C, caffeine, and hyaluronic acid, they are your best friends. Use it, but sleep and have water.
Okay. So many face washes talk about maintaining a pH balance. Why is it important?
See, the pH of your skin is between 4.7 to 5.7, and it's actually quite important, because if you use too lower pH or too higher pH, it breaks your skin barrier. And the moment your skin barrier breaks, that means you actually lose the ability of the skin to protect against any outside environmental stressors like pollutants, like sun damage, and that amplifies the impact of sun damage, pollutants, etc. So it is very, very critical to use products that fall into this pH level of 4.7 to 5.7. In certain product cases, people do end up playing around, especially if it's a treatment product. But in that case, if you've gone through that phase where you've used it, experimented with it, it's okay. But then do use products that can actually repair your skin barrier. Ceramides is a great ingredient. So ceramide moisturizes. Then after that, stay away from treatment-led products or very high intensity serums. Even applying a ceramide moisturizer on a regular basis can play a very, very immediate and fundamental role in repairing your skin barrier. Yeah.
Okay. How often should I moisturize my face?
Depends on your skin type. I think twice a day is a very good habit.
Morning and evening.
Morning and evening. Some people do feel like, I can tell you about myself, because our sunscreen is so moisturizing. I don't apply a moisturizer in the morning. I do a cleanser, the tranexamic acid serum, and then the sunscreen. And there are days where I'm in a hurry, I'll just do a cleanser and the sunscreen, and that's enough for me. And I apply, depending on the time. In summers, I apply a ceramide moisturizer, but in winters I'll go with either a super glow moisturizer or some other more a heavier moisturizer in general. But during winters, I do feel the need to moisturize sometimes in the middle of the day, like 5 or 6 p.m, especially if I'm in Delhi or it's very. So I think twice is a good thumb rule to have, but you should play around with the kind of products that you're using. If your sunscreen is moisturizing enough, use it once a day. And if you need more than that, also there's no rule that you can't use it in the rest of the day.
Right.
Do use it in the rest of the day. So I found a trick which is helping me a lot. So I apply sunscreen in the morning around 4-5. Now that the rains are going, I do feel my skin dries up. So I apply this mist that we have. It's a hydrating, brightening mist. So what it looks like I've put a highlighter on a face, because it acts as it gives a very dewy glow. But to me, what it makes me feel like that the water is retained in the skin. So it actually lets me work till 12 p.m. without feeling stretchy. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. I've often seen makeup influencers use and endorse facial razors. Is it actually useful in getting rid of dead skin?
See, the facial razors you get in India, and I think I can tell for all facial razors that I have used, they don't. They are just been made in a way that, because it's the sharpness of the razor and multiple other things that actually determine whether it can remove dead cells or dead skin cells or not. The current ones that I have used don't. Dermaplaning does end up removing dead skin cells from the skin, so that is a reality. But I would say that if you are exfoliation is such a good practice and such a cost-effective practice. If you have, and I said it before also, if you have oily skin, use a clay mask twice a week. It's very, very hydrating for your skin, but it also exfoliates. If you are okay with a chemical exfoliator and you're on the dry side, use a glycolic acid serum or a glycolic acid chemical exfoliant, right? They work wonders for your skin twice a week, and they remove the dead skin cells. We call it the 30-second facial with our overnight glow mask, but that's what it does. The glycolic acid can be a beautiful ingredient to remove dead skin cells. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This has been so informative, and I've definitely learned a lot that I haven't so far. So thank you so much. And down to the last question, to summarize, you've given us so much different kinds of knowledge, and it's amazing that so many of our viewers get to know more than just, what meets the eye, like the thing about sunscreen, the SPF that I had absolutely no idea about.
Yeah.
So to summarize, what are your 5 top tips to maintain healthy skin?
Sure. I think A, cleanse. B, moisturize. C, protect. Whether you are someone who's into serums, into treatments, doesn't matter. I think just following a rule of cleansing your face thoroughly twice a day, moisturizing it, and protecting it from the sun whenever you are going out. I think they are sufficiently good enough to give you a great skin in the long run in life. Third, do drink a lot of water. Water has like I said, 10 to 20% of your skin is made up of water, and one of the primary roles of the skin is to retain hydration and moisturize. Create a moisture barrier for the rest of your body. So do end up enabling your skin to do that, because that's one of the primary role it plays in your body. And fifth, like I said, I may not be the expert on exactly which food groups, but food does play a very, very critical role. In fact, processed food leads to a lot of acne, a lot of hormonal imbalances, further leading to more polarizations in terms of how your skin feels and looks. So food is another aspect that plays a very, very critical role. So whether you are someone who's on a very healthy regime, or it's about eating the right food, healthy food. So for me, these will be the top 5. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today, and it's been amazing. I'm looking forward to using your products.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to you trying them as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karishma.
Thank you for being the best community, and we'll see you in the next one.